Hey, what's good YouTube? Soulmas here with a beginner-friendly guide for the Holy Paladin Mage Tower challenge. This challenge is split into 3 different phases. In phase 1 you'll have to fight off and CC multiple waves of enemies while keeping your teammates alive. Phase 2 is a damage race, but rest assured you will have plenty of time to complete this phase if you play it safely. Phase 3 was, in my honest opinion, the hardest phase. I know phase 1 was the hardest for a lot of people, but as you'll see in this video, I've yet to really get a clean phase 3 even though I completed the challenge. This challenge took me about 20-ish tries in total, with at least 15 wipes happening on the last phase. The talents I use are all pretty standard. I used Faith instead of Glimmer, Blinding Light, Awakening instead of Crusader. Now this is just a personal preference. I know people say Crusader's better in the first 2 phases, and while that might be true and you can talent swap between each phase, I had no issue clearing them with just Awakening. You could probably use Divine Purpose for the first 2 phases as well, but for the last phase I highly recommend swapping to Holy Avenger. I didn't have any special trinkets either, just the Unbound Changeling from Mists and the Ocular Glen from Sanctum of Domination. You'll get used to phase 1 and 2 very quickly if you follow these tips, so without further ado, let's get right into this challenge. Phase 1 will start off with a single archer. You will see me position myself behind the archer because these mobs will jump over you to start casting Mana Sting. By staying behind them you can manipulate the distance and direction they jump in, so you won't have to chase them around the platform. Make sure to stay behind one of your teammates when Mana Sting goes off and dispel the debuff they'll get when they get hit by it. Jared the tank is probably your best target for this. The next wave has you deal with another archer and a mage. Hodge the mage as soon as you can to prevent him from building stacks and try to burst him down. Third wave introduces the first soldier. If you're a blood elf you can use your racial to purge the mage stacks, but if not, don't worry about it and just focus him down first. The soldier will cast Knife Dance, so make sure to target him when he starts casting and disorient him with Turn Evil the moment he gets his cast off. If you use Turn Evil too soon, he will immediately start casting Knife Dance again when he breaks the daze. Start guiding the soldier towards the next pack when he's fixating you, and if he Knife Dances again, just use Turn Evil. This next pack is probably the nastiest one. You'll want to pop wings and you can even use drums if you want, although that shouldn't be needed. Focus down the mage as fast as you can, but keep an eye on the 2 soldiers for the moment they both start casting Knife Dance. Wait for them to start their channel and immediately use Blinding Light. The mage should be as good as dead, and with him gone the incoming damage should be a lot more reasonable. If you hodge the first mage it should be off cooldown again right about now, so when both soldiers start casting Knife Dance again, you can just hodge the highest health one and nuke down the lowest. The last pack has you deal with one of each enemy type. Again, just focus down the mage, use Turn Evil on the soldier when he starts channeling Knife Dance, and stay behind Jared when the archer casts Mana Sting. I'll go over some things that I could have done better in hindsight at the end of the video, but I can for sure tell you that one of them is using Divine Protection a bit more often. If you're smart with your cooldown usage, you honestly shouldn't have any issues with phase 1, especially if you know what to expect. Now phase 2 is a bit of a damage race, but it'll give you plenty of time to complete it, so there's no need to worry. Worth noting is that phase 2 doesn't start before you enter this room, so if you pop cooldowns earlier and you want to wait, that's no problem at all. I made sure I had some holy power built up before going in and started the next phase. Start by targeting one eye, stay absolutely still, pop wings, and kill him from a distance with your Judgment, Holy Shock, and Hammer of Wrath, and immediately heal yourself back up as the explosion will take down a big chunk of your health, so always make sure to stay full health before killing off another eye. With one eye down, you now have a bit more space to move, and you can now go around in a circle taking out one eye after another. Again, make sure to stay topped up at all times and don't burst them down too quickly, as they have a nasty AoE effect on them, which might hit you and kill you if you don't top up before killing the eye. With all of the eyes gone, you can now move on to the next part where you just have to face off against some demon guy with a pair of bats. Nothing special here, you can just kill them very easily. When you open the next gate, you'll see a ghost running towards you down the stairs. Dispel him as fast as you can. Before you fight the ad at the top of the stairs, you want to heal the free ghost hunched down on the side of the stairs first. Just spam Flash Heal or Martyr to get him up as quickly as possible. The ad at the top of the stairs is another archer like we fought before. We can again manipulate his jump by positioning ourselves behind him. This doesn't matter a whole lot, but it does save a couple of seconds of having to chase him around. You can Hodge and Turn Evil to interrupt his Mana Sting casts, so you have nothing to worry about if you just hug the gate. The next section is really short and has you run through some balls. Getting near them does hurt quite a bit, but you can temporarily deactivate them in a single hit. Using Light's Hammer and Consecration should take care of them all so you can just move on. Now this is the last room before we get to the boss. Pop your wings as soon as the gate opens and start your rotation on the first eye. Mind your health as it explodes, top up and start dealing some damage to the second eye. When that one falls pretty low, you'll want to bubble, kill it, and immediately burst down the third one as well. With the 3 eyes out of the way, you can now just focus on the big ad and dodge the beams that they'll spawn. Staying near the wall should optimize the amount of space that you get to work with on the other side of the room when the beams spawn. The third and the last stage of this challenge has you face off against this guy. I kind of forgot his name, but for the sake of this video I'll just call him Richard because, well, quite frankly he's a bit of a dick. Start off by putting one beacon on Jarrett the warrior and your other beacon of faith on the rogue. Richard, the boss, will start pulling souls towards him that'll turn into additional enemies at the start of the next phase of the encounter. However, if you heal them up to full health before they reach him, you will not have to deal with this. So focus the ads as quickly as possible. Light of the Martyr is an incredibly useful spell to spam heal for big amounts when the ads get too close to the boss. After you've healed 8 adds back to full, you will start the dialogue for the next phase. Use this time wisely to reposition yourself towards the edge of the room and eat up to recover some mana. Use drums and wings at the start of the next phase and Hodge Richard immediately. You'll want to use Hodge pretty much on cooldown. Get as much damage in as you can and start walking towards the edge of the platform. Richard will jump on top of you every so often, doing a moderate amount of damage, as well as leaving a puddle of green goo that also deals moderate ticking damage. Combined, they hurt. Also, your teammates took a page from the Mythic Plus Pugging Bible and will not move out of anything, so prepare yourself to keep people topped up. The most important mechanic in this part of the encounter is the Ignite's Hold debuff that's cast on you every so often, dealing damage to your party based on your health, so you want to make sure that you stay around 30ish% health when the debuff expires. You get a small window to heal yourself and your party back up before Richard jumps on top of you and applies another debuff. Space management is absolutely key here, as well as optimizing damage throughput while keeping everyone from dying. This fight is a real test of your abilities. I'll show some outtakes at the end where party members died while I still had aura off cooldown, or times where I died while I could have still health potted. I'll probably go in and give it another try later to get a more clean kill for fun now that most of the frustration has cleared off. I personally had a ton of fun with this challenge, but as someone who plays most other healing classes, I can definitely see why people say Paladin has the easiest time out of all of them to beat the healing challenge. High damage output, plenty of CC, and bubble for situations that might neck another healer means this challenge will be a walk in the park the moment you get used to the what's in the house of this challenge. I can assure you that, outside of the Awakening's Wings RNG, this challenge is as straightforward and as scripted as it can be. Now the main thing I could have done differently is use my defensives a bit more in phase 1 and just Hodge on cooldown in phase 3. I think I used it twice while I could have used it maybe one more time. So that probably would have saved me from dying. But yeah, anyways, you don't want to forget to put your consecration down, your lights hammer, before, the boss in phase 3 jumps to you. And if you just, manage your space, and keep doing damage, keep everyone topped, keep an eye on your debuff, make sure that you're not too high on health. If you are, just dip into the green pools. You can use Light of the Martyr on your teammates to also damage yourself, so that also helps to manipulate your health total if you're too high health. With that said, I do want to thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to leave it a like, comment, sub if you want to see more content and all that good stuff. Good luck with your own Mage Tower challenge, and enjoy the outtakes.